Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamisha, the Codepreneur, as well as a transformational coach, keeping it raw, real, and relatable here on my channel. So in today's video, I want to talk about what are 5 signs that your child might be displaying that they have weak hand muscles, and what are some things you can do to help them improve. Okay, let's jump right into this video. Now, this is a quick disclaimer, okay? All children develop at their own pace. However, there is certain milestones that we look for, okay? Now, between ages 6 months to 12 months, your child should be able to open and release. So if they pick up an item, they should be able to pick it up and release the item. Or I should say, if they're picking up a toy, something small, they should be able to hand it over and release it to you. Okay? Also, they should be able to pick up an item, a small item, with their thumb and another finger, preferably their pointer finger. Okay? So they should be able to pick up a little item with these two fingers, okay, which we like to call little pincher grabs there. Now, if they're struggling to do that, that could be a sign that they are having weak muscle, weak hand strength in their hands, okay? Your child should also be able to transfer one object from one hand to the other hand without frequently dropping it. So if you notice that they're, when they have something, they're really struggling and they're dropping constantly when they try to transfer something from one hand to the other hand, that could be a sign that there is weak hand muscle. Now, what I'm going to mention to you is these are the signs that you want to just be mindful of if you're noticing that they're struggling with. So a couple of the signs is this. The first thing is they use their whole hand, or I should say all 5 fingers, to grip a pencil. Okay? Now, it is normal for children to really, you know, grip a particular item. But once they get past 12 months, they should be able to start manipulating the pencil just a little bit better. I know when a lot of times when they're coloring, they'll color like this, where they're completely fisting um, the crayon or the marker. But if they are constantly gripping an item with all 5 fingers, they may be compensating for weakness in their fingers. So that might be a possible, and now I say possible again, right? Possible sign they may be experiencing a little bit of weakness. But this is also going to go and coincide with other things. Don't just look at your child and be like, oh my gosh, my child is gripping things with all 5 fingers in their hand. They must be having weakness. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this, coupled with the other things I'm going to mention, could be a potential sign that your child has weak hand muscles. Okay. So if your child is, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, and you are noticing that when they are writing, they're writing very, very light with pressure. Usually around those age, I mean, they are breaking crayons because they have too much pressure. Okay. But if you notice that your child is really writing with very light pressure, that can be a sign that they're not using enough strength. Another sign that if your child is really having a hard time holding the utensil during feeding time, okay? If you notice that they are holding the utensil, but let's say they're constantly dropping it, that could be a sign that they might be a little strength issue going on. They pick up their toys and they're constantly dropping it. That can also be a sign that maybe there might be some issues there with their strength. Also, if they are having difficulty manipulating their fine fasteners, No, I don't expect a child that is 2, 3, 4, even 5 years old to be a master at, let's say, tying their shoelaces. Usually by 5, 6, 7, that's when they kind of get the hang of laces. So I'm talking more of maybe bigger buttons or maybe Velcro straps. Maybe they're really having a hard time when they're in the age of like 3, 4, 5 with their Velcro straps. They may be having difficulty with that fine motor control, and that might be a sign that they need to work on strengthening their hands. So, those are a couple of things that I mentioned. So, let's talk about what you can possibly do to ensure that your child is developing at the rate that they should develop, and things that you can do to increase their hand strength. Now, don't be alarmed. I know as parents, we watch everything and we're like, oh my gosh, is my kid really following suit with these milestones, their milestones. But just keep in mind that these are just things to look out for, and these things are very fixable. All right, it doesn't require major attention unless it is very apparent that this child is struggling at 5, 6, 7, and beyond with certain skills and in-hand manipulations that they should have already developed. Okay, so let's look at what you can do to help your child along. So one of the things that you can do is you can get Play-Doh. You can get Play-Doh, yes. And by using Play-Doh, you can really work on their hand strength. You can make fun little things out of the Play-Doh. You can roll little balls. You can have them do their finger oppositions by pinching and pulling. These are all really cool little small things you can do with your child, and in their mind, it's just play, but for you, you really actually have a purpose, and that is you're really working on that hand strength. So the first thing I would suggest is purchasing some Play-Doh. You can get it very cheap on Amazon, and just have your child just start playing with the Play-Doh. Play-Doh comes in different kind of resistancy, as I say. So you have very soft resistance where it's easy to pull apart, and then you have the ones that's really tough that requires you to use a little bit more strength. So definitely look into that. I think that will be helpful. Now, the second thing, if you want to really take it up a notch, you can actually use scissors, right? There's kids' scissors they can use, and you can actually have them start cutting into the Play-Doh. Okay, you can start off with paper if you want to just have them cut with the paper, and then you could also use a Play-Doh where they're actually cutting into the Play-Doh. So that just taking it up a notch as well. So if you're concerned about their little pincher graphs, you can use stickers, right? Kids love to see stickers, and you can actually have them practice trying to peel the little stickers off and putting it down onto a paper, which is very creative if you are concerned about them using like Cheerios. And again, it all depends on what the age of your child is. If they're a little older, they're not gonna try to put it in their mouth either. But if they are younger, and you're practicing with a, let's say, 6 month old or 8 month old or a 9 month old, and you really want them to get a little bit better with their pincher graphs, and you don't want to use like a Cheerio or something like that, you can just use maybe a sticker, but obviously you got to monitor your child, right? But yeah, you can either use a Cheerio, you can use stickers. If your child is older, stickers is really good too. Have them try to peel it off, and then maybe you can put something up on the wall where now they're working on their reach, and they're going ahead and sticking it on a piece of paper. Another cool thing you can do is threading beads, right? You get a little thread, you get the little beads, and you can have them, make necklaces, you can have them make bracelets, and they're just threading the beads. And that would be a really cool activity. So I hope that this would be awesome. And then if you want to just keep it simple and do hand exercises with your kid, you can have them do clapping. You can have them mimic what you do. So if you're doing your hands like this, you can have them try to do that. The sky is really the limit, and you know your child better than anybody else. And these are just quick tips for you guys. If you really feel that there is a real serious issue, then definitely take your child to see their pediatrician and have them have a consultation with an occupational therapy professional as well as a physical therapist. All right. I hope that this video was helpful. Be sure to like, share, and don't forget to leave your comments below. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.